What up, everybody? I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome to the closing line. Let's do this thing. As the countdown to kickoff is on. It is week 12 of the National Football League. Welcome to SBR Picks. We encourage you to give us a thumbs up out of the gate, even if you hate me. Do it for Donnie. Do it for Donnie Rightside. Do it for Deb Allen. Do it for Zach Jones. Do it for SBR. But more importantly, do it for yourselves so you continue to get the free programming that you get. All right. It's not free to turn the lights on. It's not free for anybody to do this stuff, except it's free for you guys to watch this stuff. And all SBR is asking, give the thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube page, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter. And most importantly, when you're betting, go to sportsbookreview.com, pick out a book that's right for you, take advantage of the bonuses. Take advantage of the 100% bonuses. I know Donnie Rightside likes to go shopping, like women go shopping for clothes and shoes. Guys like us, every couple of weeks, you need a little shot in the arm. Donnie, hey, why not open up a new account and get a 100% sign-up bonus somewhere?
No, absolutely. I did it with betonline.ag, did it a couple weeks ago. And hey, I work for the company, but still support the company. It's the best way to do it. There's a lot of bonuses that you can get with sportsbookreview.com. Check it out. Fastest payouts. They're going to protect you. How many times do we see it, Gabe, where you see the retweets coming out like, hey, this company's a little bit slow to pay? Sportsbook Review. That's what we do here. Contact us. Reach out. We'll try to get you some help on that situation. All
right, so let's rock and roll, Donnie. I'm going to be honest with you. One of the reasons why I like you so much is I know I can tell people's passion for the sport of football. I know your passion for the sport of football is secondary to none, and mine is as well. I mean, I live for this shit. But I got to tell you that normal, and it doesn't matter. The thing is about NFL Sundays, always it's like our religion, and we unload the account. You know what I mean? It's the card for better or worse. We're going to bet the games. You get the butterflies before the games, the unknown. Ooh, I might win thousands. I might lose money. I might break even. Is my favorite team going to win? How am I going to do in fantasy? There's all kinds of elements that come into this stuff that lead to why we love this stuff as much as we do. But I got to tell you, I wake up this morning and, I'm not feeling it. I'm looking at this card, and it's been a bad NFL year, but I thought they had a fucking flex schedule for a fucking reason. How about you fucking use it? The Sunday nighters, piss poor, pathetic. Thank God the Grey Cup is on. How many of these games, honestly, if you look at the NFL board, forget about betting, but just from a fan perspective, there's one fucking game worth watching. The Rams and the Saints, maybe the Bills and the Chiefs, you could argue. Other than that, everything is a fucking pile of steaming garbage. And honestly, from a betting perspective, Donnie, there's a lot of weird big point spreads and weird teams that you can't trust either team. It's a bizarre week this week 12, in my opinion. What's your take?
No, you're absolutely right, Gabe. When you just look at the card overall, you try to get excited for football games, and you're right. Usually it's waking up on Sunday. You already have pretty much your card figured out and finalized, but you're waiting for the inactive list to come out. You want to see who might give you that last little bit of an edge at that point. But again, you're right, Gabe. What game do you want to watch? I mean, outside of the game, you're right, at 425, the Rams game. Who's up there? It's the haves and the have-nots today. I mean, we want to have the Battle of Ohio, Cleveland and Cincinnati. You have the Eagles with a huge number. I mean, you have Miami with a monster number. You have Buffalo. You don't even know if Buffalo packed it in or not. And you could say, hey, look at the Chiefs side. They looked awful the past couple weeks. There's nothing great about this card. Back in the day, 3-4 years ago, Gabe, looking at Seattle, San Francisco, digging in. I can't wait for this football game. Who even cares about that football game at this point?
I got to tell you, Donnie, and I don't just say this because I am in Canada. I'm a big CFL fan, but I know we got a lot of CFL fans in the U.S. and gamblers that like to bet on this stuff. It's the Grey Cup. And I tell you, the championship game last year, Donnie, was sick, man. It went fucking way over the number. It went to overtime. It's the 105th Grey Cup, man. The Super Bowl. Who's the Super Bowl? 51 Super Bowls. We have 105. And you know what? Our halftime show's cooler. We got Shania Twain. Super Bowl's got that fuckhead fucking Timberlake, right? So, lovely Shania Twain. But all kidding aside, guys, I like the Toronto Argonauts plus the 7 points in that game, but we'll get to that. So let's jump in right now and start banging through these football games. These numbers that I'm taking a look at right now are from Bookmaker, of course, a SBR-approved sportsbook. So let's start off with your Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. Point spread up to 14 right now, Donnie. Over under 43.5 points. One thing that I've been most impressed by with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think, along with the New England Patriots for the class of the NFL, one thing their schedule has been kind of easy, but I'm not taking it away from it. But the thing I've been most impressed with, Donnie, is the fact that they play hard every week. Every team, even the New England Patriots, every fucking team this year every team has that game where it's like, don't talk about that. Things didn't work out. It fell apart, and it is what it is. Every team has that effort where we just couldn't get it going. We just, we tried, but it fell apart. Yes, we quit. Every team has that. The Eagles have showed up in all 10 football games that they played in this year, Donnie. Incredibly impressive. Hard thing to do to get these guys. Like, obviously, the Eagles like their coaches because these guys are flying around, man.
I mean, yeah, you're exactly right, Gabe. I mean, even take a look at the running back situation. Most of the guys, have a Jai coming from Miami. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. They literally run 4 running backs at this point where everybody's getting multiple carries. Doesn't matter when you're in. You just want to perform. Carson Wentz, I mean, say what you want about the guy. Real nice, down to earth, but he seems to have everybody in check. Alshon Jeffrey's in a contract year, albeit, and he's not screaming for the football. Nelson Aguilar is getting some action. Torrey Smith's getting some action. Zach Ertz is getting some action. Seems like everybody is in line, and it does start off with the head football coach. Looking at the Eagles, outside of squeaking out one at Carolina on a Thursday night against a really good football team, Gabe, double-digit winner versus Washington, double-digit winner versus San Francisco, double-digit winner versus Denver, double-digit winner versus Dallas. Everything comes in a norm. And just before we preview this game, another angle from the Chicago side is last week, which I think was big. Using all that effort in division game, you're thinking in the back of your head, Gabe, for Chicago Bears, maybe if we win this football game against a division rival, who knows? Maybe we can get hot, go on a run. Some other teams collapse around us. What a brutal way to lose on a terrible kick at the end of the football game. A 3-7 team. The Chicago Bears coming in against a red-hot Eagles team doesn't look good.
For you, are you playing the game? Generally, it's a lot of points. Throughout this year, I don't recall you ever laying double-digit points once, actually, Donnie.
No, it's hard, and I will be playing this football game, and one of my plays that I'll give out a little bit later here for us as we're going to lean on as we wrap up. I do like the Eagles, but I like them under 2 touchdowns. You can get them at this point right now. It looks like 14 Gabe plus 100, so it's basically a rough line of 13.5. I think the Eagles win this football game. If I pegged it and looked at an overall score, I think it's in that 31-13 mold. What you want to look at from the Bears' perspective, Gabe, is that laundry list of injuries are coming into play Philadelphia when, albeit, the Jason Peters, the Hicks are out for the Eagles, but they're a relatively healthy football team. What it really boils down to is Trubisky's going to be on the road against a really good defense. Points are going to be hard to come by from the Chicago Bears. And as we've seen, Gabe, it doesn't matter who the Eagles line up against. They're probably going to be in the 30s. So the Bears are going to have to try to score with them. I don't think that's the case. I'm looking somewhere around 31-13 as a final here. Yeah,
it's a good point you raised as far as the injuries with the Chicago Bears. They are very beat up. And as far as, like you said, Jalen Mills, if you were playing the Atlanta Falcons this week or the LA Rams, it'd be a little bit of a concern that Mills is out. But it's a good time for him to be out considering you got Trubisky this week. It's not like the Bears passing attack. The Bears' strength, they're going to want to run the football, but they're going to, I think Jordan Howard sort of gets taken out of the football game if the Eagles are up. I think the Eagles cover the number as well. I'm not in love with it, but I do think they cover, but I don't think it's like an easy one. I don't think it's like, I should have taken the Eagles. It's 41-14, fuck already, midway through the third. I think you might have to sweat it out a little bit, but, the only thing is Philadelphia just don't fucking let up. They just don't. One thing I want to bring up, and I know a lot of people discount trends, and I understand certain trends don't matter from the past, but an interesting trend here is just teams, NFL favorites who are on 8-game win streaks are 10-15 against the spread, all right? The last 25 times it happened. Just the spreads keep on getting bigger, and it's tougher to cover. Eventually, that bubble is going to burst, right? So, tough one. You can't make an argument for Chicago Bears here. I don't. I don't know if someone in the chat does. If someone could say, I like the Bears in this game. I don't see it. I do like a couple of the other crappy teams that are playing today. All right. Speaking of crap here, Dolphins and Patriots. So 17 fucking points, Donnie.
I mean, yeah, when you look at that game, Gabe, it's not even about capping the football game. It's almost about, at this point, we saw the injury reports coming out, banged up Miami on the offensive line. Matt Moore is going to get the start. I don't know half the time if that's a good thing or a bad thing with Jay Cutler here, riding out the string. New England just needs to win this football game coming in. It's 17 points in the NFL. Can New England embarrass them, Gabe, and beat them 41-10, which they probably will do? But in no way, shape, or form am I going to lay 17 points. That basically means that you're going to have to win by 3 touchdowns in the NFL. And how many teams really give that much of a care in the second half if it's a 14-point lead, a 21 or a 28-point lead? Can Matt Moore come from behind there and maybe get that backdoor cover? I don't want anything to do with this football game.
It could be 21-0 late or whatever, dreary day, Foxborough. It's actually a little sunny, but you know what I mean? You could be up by 21. Matt Moore throws a piece of shit backdoor touchdown to fucking Stills with fucking a minute left. Boom, you lose. You could be up by 23 and lose that bet still.
It's basically 3 touchdowns in an NFL football game. Are the Patriots the better team? Absolutely. But sometimes you just have to take a shot and say, this is just, I don't even want to say disrespect because I don't really know how Miami really stacks up with them anyway. But is Tom Brady going to be throwing it? You saw the Achilles injury. He's a little bit banged up. Gronk with the illness. Are they going to be wanting to press that pedal down late in the fourth quarter when they're up, let's just say, Gabe, 31-3 or at the start of the fourth quarter? I think they're going to be pulling guys out in this situation and just to see what they have as backups, getting fresh and moving on. It's about winning at this time of the year, Gabe. It's not about style points. 17's too much for me.
Yeah, we should note the New England Patriots might be 8-2, but they're 6-4 against the spread on the season. There was a brief period where Miami played them tough. Like the last time they played, it was 35-14, so it was a 21-point win. 31-24 last year, 20-10 last year. Miami actually beat them 20-10. But for the most part, there's been a lot of 36-7s, 41-13s. There's a 33-20. It's a tough game. I'm not in a hurry to lay 17, and I don't want to take the 17. It's just one of these boards.
No, if you're going to bet this football game, Gabe, the only way to bet is when Miami's at home because they do technically play the Patriots pretty well when you go down to South Florida. But heading up north here, it's one of those things you look at. Who really cares on the Dolphins at this point? And again, when you're looking at the Patriots' perspective, they want to come in and get the victory, move on, and keep it going. I don't. It's too many points. I'm not playing this game either way, but I'm not laying 17 in any way in this game.
No, you're exactly right. If you look at the Miami Dolphins, they're pissed at the player. How if you're a player? Well, you traded Jay Ajayi for what? Yeah. To send a message to who? How'd that work? How'd that message work out, Donnie?
It worked great.
Yeah,
it worked out fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good move, coach, because you're pissed off one week, right? Yeah, it's a good idea to trade our best fucking player away. You signed this Jay Cutler fucking guy that's never fucking healthy, and even when he's healthy, he fucking throws picks. Yeah. You're right. You got Jarvis Landry, whose contract is up. He's a free agent, and there's no secret in NFL circles. He gone. Like Hawk Harrelson says, Donnie, he gone. Jarvis Landry's leaving. And we talked about it, Donnie, for who and for what. Fuck. You get at the time of the year right now. That's the thing. To me, it's Patriots or pass because I think the Dolphins are quitters. I think they are cowards. I think they have quit. I don't think they like Adam Gase. I mean, you look at the defense. I mean, they gave up 40 at Baltimore, 27 to the Raiders, 45 to Carolina, 30 to fucking Tampa Bay. It's fucking pathetic. I mean, they've given up 27 or more in the last fucking 4 weeks. I mean, they've rolled over. We can talk about the offensive side of things with the Dolphins, but defensively, to me, guys, I think the Patriots cover. I'm not laying it. I think, Donnie, I think we're looking at a 27-3 game. That type of thing.
No, it's one of those. Yep, one of those old school Patriot Jets games where it ends up like 41-8, 41-11, something interesting like that. But you're right. Looking for if you're betting the Dolphins and we like to build a case or try to build a case for something, say, hey, you know what? The AFC is a mess. We're 4-6. Maybe we go up and shock the world in Foxborough and we get a little bit closer there. We're hanging on to the edge of playoff run. But there's a lot to be said about a coach that really feuds with his team and going on the road and how much do they really want to play in this atmosphere. And again, folks, it's the Patriots at home. I know if you watched opening day, oh my God, what a tough loss they had to the Chiefs. This is a different Patriots team sort of hitting their groove right now. If you watched anything last week, to me, the Oakland Raiders are much more talented overall than the Miami Dolphins coming in this game, and they just destroyed that Raiders team. You can almost, Gabe, if you want a carbon copy of the game, watch last week's Raiders game. Almost the same type of team coming to town here. They should be able to shred them, but again, I'm not laying the wood in this one.
Somebody asked a good question under team total, Dolphins 17. And I like that. Good question. I don't know who it was, so I don't see your name right now, but the chat moves so fast, but good question about that. Yeah. I tell you what, the New England Patriot defense, Donnie, has really shored things up ever since that Tampa Bay Buccaneer game on Thursday night about 2 months ago. Remember they got carved up. Matt Patricia was walking around with the Goodell clown shirt. He was the fucking clown. His defense was getting clowned. 42.
Yeah, that was the first one. Yep, that was the first one where they came back on that Thursday night football game where they played some decent football. What did they give up? Maybe 14 points in that football game?
Points.
Yeah.
Well, remember they gave up 33 to Houston and then 33 to Carolina back-to-back weeks. And they gave up 42 in week 1. Most Belichick ever given up in his NFL career. They were getting lit up. You're right. The Thursday night game, they went into Tampa, 19-14 win. They didn't play great, but, 19-14 win. But, guys, ever since then, nobody is top 17.5. Now, I see the team total at 16.5. So, I don't know, maybe you got a 17 out there. But I'm seeing a Dolphins team total at 16.5. Put it this way, the Patriots haven't given up more than 16.5 points since they played the Jets. All right? And that was 5 weeks ago. They gave up 8 points to the Raiders, 16 to the Broncos, 13 to the Chargers, 7 to the Falcons, 17 to the Jets, 14 to the Bucs. Dolphins are now laying You got to score 17, so it's 16 and a half. And I can live with that. I can live with that. If you're telling me you're playing a Miami Dolphin team total under the number, I'm not disagreeing with that, Donnie.
No, I can't disagree with either. I mean, just look at the scores they've had when they've gone against, let's just say, better competition on the road. Just look at their last 2 football games on the road. At Carolina, 45-21. The game didn't even feel like it was even that close. And at Baltimore, 40-0, where they gave up. And that was one of those games, Gabe, where said, hey, Matt Moore is going to play in this football game, and he's going to be, he's going to be able to be mobile. He's going to throw the football downfield. They got shut out in that football game. Are they as good a defense in New England as Carolina or Baltimore? No, but they'll be schemed appropriate in this football game. And Matt Moore is going to have a tough time back there. And it's all about who wants to win this football game. New England's going to win this football game. I'll be shocked if Miami goes up there and late in the fourth quarter, Gabe, it's a 21-17 game with Miami driving for the victory. Has all the setup moves to get somebody's going to be in the 30s, a la the Patriots. Somebody's going to be in the teens. That should be the Dolphins. That's the way I see it going today.
And I see you guys asking about a lot of the games. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get to every game. We go in order because if we start jumping around, it just gets chaotic. We're going in order. I like that team total under. Now, another thing, Donnie, I don't hear you talking a lot. Maybe you play it personally, but you don't tell people about it. Is big teasers. Yeah. So, these like you wagers got the 13 and the 14-point teasers. Most sports books have the 10-point teaser, the 3-team 10-point teaser. Seems to me that a day like today, you got Pittsburgh Steelers, you got the Patriots, and I like teasers, Donnie, but I don't like doing it in these monster games because I don't want to sweat out 3 fucking games. And the numbers are so high. So even if I play a fucking 10-point teaser, I'm still sweating out this Patriot game and shit. So, these big favorites, and Shy Picks is saying that I'm being a square today. Well, hey, it's hip to be square, as Hugh Lewis said. Yeah, you calling me square. You want to fucking bet? You want to bet on the Miami Dolphins, Shy Picks? You want to take them?
It's interesting. The whole sharp and square thing.
Chicago Bears, call me a square. I'm not betting on shitty teams, man. I don't care.
Because let's move this back. Let's just say this game, Gabe, was week 4, so to speak, and you're looking at this football game and trying to bet the game. You're going to say sharp square in this, but now that you move on late in the season, it's sort of the haves and the have-nots. Some teams pack it in. Some teams are playing for victories, and that's why you're seeing those taxes there. I don't know. And again, I like to take points. I like to take, if it's 10 points or 14 points, it's a lot of fun because they're NFL teams. But I'll be damned when you bet football teams, Gabe, and by the end of the first quarter, when it's 14 or 17-3, you go, why did I bet this football game? They don't even give a shit.
I.e., you and I struggling watching that Brown game against the Lions.
Oh, man, yeah, exactly.
The only time I bet on the Browns all year. I remember me and Donnie right before the half. I was
again, that should go on the Browns tombstone. Let's audible to the quarterback sneak on the 4-yard line with no timeouts. That's
me and Donnie were watching it together right before we came on live, and we both had the Browns, and both of us were just with our hands. I was like, I don't know why I bet fucking $500 on the Browns today.
Yep. And we'll talk about the Browns again today because they're in that same mold, man.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. I know it actually looked like the right play, but I'm not. I don't know, bookmakers' rotations out of whack, but whatever. It is what it is. So, Okay. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs. We got a little line movement here. I'm seeing some 8.5 pop up in some shops. There are some 9s. I'm looking at a 9 at bookmaker right now. Tyrod Taylor's back in. You got Tyrod Taylor's back. Jordan Matthews will be playing. Charles Clay will be playing. So the Bills get some pleasant surprises on the offensive side of the football. Kelvin Benjamin will not. Kelvin Benjamin's out, but they get some pleasant surprises that Jordan Matthews and Charles Clay will be playing in this football game. They've been humiliated 2 weeks in a row. They've lost 3 weeks in a row. We don't need to relive the Peterman situation and what happened there. And then conversely, we've got a Kansas City Chief team that's fading pretty fast right now, Donnie, and it can't really stop the run. They got big problems. If the Bills can get a run going, they can cover the number in this game.
Yeah, what has Kansas City shown you, Gabe? That's the whole point of this is when you look at both these teams. I know the public and I know people. It's just human nature. You say, God damn, I watched the Bills get eviscerated back-to-back weeks. Therefore, they're going to get eviscerated again. But let's look at Kansas City for the last 5 games. Who they beat? Denver. 29-19. Everybody's pasted Denver. They lost to the Giants in an anemic ball club, 12-9, when the Giants were actually the better football team throughout that game. If you watched it, Dallas 28-17. We've seen what Dallas has turned into at this point. Also, the Oakland game, losing to the Raiders. It seems like everybody beats the Raiders each and every week. The one thing good about the Bills is if they could the one thing I like is they still have the rookie head coach. So he still has the ear of the room knowing, Gabe, that no matter what happens, he's going to be here next year. So you better get in line. I think you're getting a bonus advantage here because you saw Peterman last week go 5 interceptions in whatever the first half it was. That game was over from jump. So now you're getting that overreaction coming in. Tyrod Taylor's going to come in. You know he doesn't throw interceptions. He's going to keep the ball on the ground. And what, again, has the Kansas City Chiefs shown you through most of the season that they can blow out a team? Gabe, it's not a 3-point line. It's not a 6-point line. You're getting over a touchdown through most of this week, Gabe. You were getting 10 points in this game. I think it's a complete overreaction. Do I love the Buffalo Bills? No, I don't, but I see value in the Buffalo Bills today.
We look at the Kansas City Chiefs and their recent form here. All right, they lost 12-9 to the Giants last week coming out of the bye. They lost 28-17 to the Dallas Cowboys. They beat the Denver Broncos, and the Buffalo Bills are a lot better than the Denver Broncos. They beat the Broncos by 10 points. They lost to the Raiders by 1. They lost to the Steelers by 6. They beat Houston by 8. Washington by 9. I'm not seeing a lot of blowout wins here for the Kansas City Chiefs. And we talk about, people talk about injuries. People don't talk about the loss of Eric Berry enough with the Kansas City Chiefs and how he affects that run defense. You can run successfully on these guys, and teams have run successfully on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the Bills season right now. The Bills are still in a playoff spot. I don't think the organization wants to make the playoffs. I don't think Brandon Beane, the GM, or McDermott think they're a playoff team. So I think they're just sort of thinking about the future more, but that doesn't mean the guys in the room don't want to make the playoffs. And, Donnie, you know that the players love Tyrod Taylor. They're going to rally around him big time today. Like this,
it's nice weather too, Gabe. Yeah.
A lot of times teams get motivated to like us against the world. This is almost like the players, us against the world and our own coaching staff to say, fuck you. This is how stupid you are. Look what he just did. You know what I mean?
No, I like it, Gabe. And the one thing that I want to see today is, again, Tyrod Taylor protecting the football, because if you look from the other side, styles make fights, Gabe. Kansas City is not, I'm going to put you in the rearview mirror and I'm going to blow you out the door. They like it when they have a 3 to 7 point lead. Alex Smith's going to throw 103-yard routes today to keep the Buffalo Bills in the game. And also, this is what it's going to come down to. Can you run a little read option? Can Tyrod Taylor, I always talk about it here with you, Gabe, 3rd and 4, extend the drive, get 5 to 6 yards with your feet, hand the ball off to Shady, because the one thing Gabe, Kansas City, let's look at their last 5 games, 194 on the ground, 88 on the ground, 77, 131, and giving up 112 yards rushing to the Giants, Gabe, might as well be like giving up 250 yards to a really good offense with a good running back like Shady McCoy. Give me the points in this one. I know it's dipped down. What do you got? 8.5. There's some 9s poking their way through, but it looks like that line's consistently dipping down from 10. Anything over a touchdown, Gabe, I think you're getting good value here with the Buffalo Bills today.
I'll tell you, Donnie, as a Buffalo Bill fan, I know this. I don't even have to look it up, but I don't know why we play them all the time. Maybe because we're always third-place teams or whatever.
Yeah.
But we play the Chiefs every year for some reason. Like, we didn't last year, but we played in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, Donnie. It's like an annual deal here.
Yeah.
Right? And
you're right. Yeah, certain teams like to square up like that. You're right.
Yeah, I remember all these games like they're yesterday. Last year, Kansas City 2 years ago, 30-22, 17-13, 23-13. That 23, one of those games, Jeff fucking Toole started a quarterback for us. We got screwed on a pass interference call. There should have been pass interference. But
at home, yep.
Yeah, the Bills usually play close, all right, with the Chiefs. They're sort of the similar style of football teams. And, the Chiefs, we get back to it, like Donnie brought up earlier, this isn't college football, guys. There's no voters, all right? You're not trying to impress anybody. Nobody gives a shit. Andy Reid's trying to get a fucking win right now and stop this bleeding. You got the fucking Chargers are hot right now. And, you get the Patriots keep fucking winning. The Steelers keep winning. The Chiefs' little paradise of home field is slipping away here. So they're just trying to get a fucking win. Kareem Hunt hasn't scored a touchdown since week 3. Like you said, there's a lot of dinking and dunking going on with the Chiefs right now. Too many points to lay. But one thing I want to bring up so I don't sound hypocritical is we keep on talking about the points. And, Donnie, we talk about it. Point spreads don't often mean much. I think they do this week because there's a lot of mediocre teams playing against each other. But last week, a good example. Only the Washington Redskins, guys. The Redskins were the only team that lost the game that covered the point spread. Yeah. Point spreads, we're so conditioned to these fucking point spreads. I like the Panthers, but I don't want to lay the 5. Either just take the fucking Jets on the money line or lay the 5, guys, all right? It's very rare that teams lose but cover the spread, and I fall for it all the time. But it seems like we have all these shitty teams that are playing each other today that no one can really distance themselves from each other, Donnie.
No, you're right. And by the way, Gabe, getting back to one quick point on this Buffalo-Kansas City game, which always gets lost. I mean, Sean McDermott, we know he's coming from Carolina, but let's not forget how long he worked under Andy Reid in Philadelphia here, defensive coordinator, underling. These two teams know each other. So you can almost equate this, Gabe, even though it's not a divisional rival like the Buffalo Bills playing New England. You know them exactly well, how they do. You have a little ulterior motive here where both of these guys really know each other, maybe playing it a little bit close to the vest, maybe knowing some tendencies out there. I think that plays into the underdog more than it does the favorite here. So maybe a little added fuel there if you're looking to try to bet that Bill side where the familiarity in this football game should show.
You know what? As far as the Tyrod Taylor prop, no, I don't like the Tyrod Taylor prop so much. You never really know how many passes he can throw. He can do damage with his legs, guys. But I am going to play my long field goal prop in this game. It's 44.5. Weather's not a factor anywhere today. It's not windy anywhere. Ironically enough, the only two places where it's raining is in California, Oakland and San Francisco in the Bay Area. And it's drizzling type shit. It's not windy anywhere. That's why I haven't brought up weather. We don't do it. I did a weather. I looked at the weather check earlier. 8-mile-an-hour winds. It's only 44.5. Hoshka set a fucking record, Donnie. I don't know. What is it, 13 in a row or something for 50+? Yeah. Whatever it is. He set a record. Yeah. The Bills will take points where they can get them. McDermott trusts Hoshka not to miss these kicks, so he'll let him kick a 49-yarder on the road because he thinks, well, he's going to make it. And it's only 44.5, so I like that long field goal prop over the number. LaShawn McCoy is 84.5 over rushing yards. The Buffalo Bill offensive line is a little banged up, so I want to stay away from it. As the season goes on, guys, these player props get fucking sharper and sharper, man. Last week, quick story, in the Eagles-Cowboys game on Sunday night, I had Dak Prescott over 21.5 completions, Donnie. They fucking quit. He was at 18 in the fourth quarter, Donnie. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm drunk, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to lose the bet here, but he can, he's going to complete 4 more passes. They did it. They started handing the football off, and he fucking quit. So I lost the bet. I bet the same. It went down to 19.5 on Thanksgiving Day. Dak Prescott, 19.5 completions, Donnie, against the Chargers. Yeah. Same fucking scenario. He's at fucking 18 midway through the fourth, and it's a rout. And I'm like, dear God, is this going to happen again? So I tweeted out. I said, guys, we need 2 more completions from Dak Prescott to win the over-under bet, the completion prop bet. And I said, but this is no lock. He might throw a pick. He threw 2 dump-offs. We won the bet, got to 20. The next damn fucking play, Donnie, he threw a pick. Yep. So
I saw that retweet out there. Yeah, it's crazy.
These fucking props are that fucking sharp right now, guys. They're that fucking sharp. You beat the player props earlier in the season, man. The computers have adjusted the numbers, Donnie.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the numbers are in there. You're coming down to the end of the season where you're having a whole book of knowledge where they're putting these plays out saying, here's what typically factors in. There's no more you're ahead of the curve or, first 2 weeks of the season, you think you have a jump because you follow the team. You have a local beat writer that keys you in here. Those numbers are out there for a reason. They are going to be sharp the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think the Buffalo Bills, like you said, we always talk about this, is when you're betting on an underdog. And that's why I don't like the Dolphins. That's why I don't like the Bears. And I think Donnie agrees. If I'm betting on an underdog, I need to make a case that they can win the football game, Donnie.
Yes.
I don't want to go in there. Well, I hope that Matt Moore throws a touchdown with 2 minutes left and I backdoor it. I can't bet on hope. I need to say, you know what? Fuck this. The Buffalo Bills can beat these guys outright. So give me the points. They're going to be right in it. I need to confidently believe that a team can win a football game.
Yeah, it's hard to bet from the angle, Gabe, where you're saying, well, if in the fourth quarter, which we all try to do, like 17 points Miami's going to get, if they're down 23, can Matt Moore bring them back at that point? In the NFL, in college football, you might say yes, because kids are kids. They want to score and they want to, get their reps in. But the NFL, like Matt Moore changing the game from 23 to 17, does that mean like another team is going to sign him in the offseason because he was able to bring him back in the fourth quarter to make it a 3-touchdown ball game instead of 4-touchdown ball game? You're right. You have to make the case where the team's going to hang around and be close. Forget about even winning the football game. In the fourth quarter, Gabe, would it be a shock to you in Kansas City if it's 24-21 Kansas City with 3 minutes to go? That wouldn't shock me at all.
Over, Donnie. It's 47. The Bills' last 5 games have gone over. They haven't been able to stop anyone. We talk about Tyrod Taylor. That Buffalo Bill defense is fucking falling apart, man. It's the one tough thing about that. I agree, Gabe, because Buffalo, I think, can play you into scoring, which is the way they have been playing the last couple of weeks. The one thing that's always interesting with Kansas City, Gabe, is it just seems like once they get a lead of any point, 3 points, 7 points, 1 point,
It's almost like they're more interested in running like an Army, Navy, Air Force offense where they're just looking to dink and dunk, get first downs, and we're not going to make the mistake. You're going to make the mistake. It's hard for me sometimes now to look at Kansas City with an over team. I got crushed last week on a Kansas City over. The win didn't help me out that much, but I didn't know that was going to be that strong early in the week. But just overall, Gabe, Kansas City's game plan doesn't lend itself to very many overs to me when I look at them.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons, speaking of mistakes, hopefully it's not a big mistake that I will be betting on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this football game, Donnie. We'll give our best bets when we go, but I do like the Bills plus the points, and this is another game that I do like plus the points. Mm-hmm. Atlanta just haven't shown me anything. They haven't shown me anything that I want to be laying double-digit points with them. Why? Because they survived a game against Seattle the other night. The only reason they fucking won that game, and it's amazing the perception. People are like, oh, Atlanta are back right now. Yeah, and if Blair Walsh isn't Blair Walsh, people are like Sarkisian sucks and the Falcon season's over right now. So, it's a fine line. I know that we would have went to overtime. Wasn't a game-winning kick, but it's a fine line between winning and losing in the NFL, let alone winning by 10 points. I don't mind the fact that Winston's not there. Winston's been terrible this year anyways, and he's busy grabbing fucking Uber drivers. It's just too many points. Fitzgerald doesn't get, he doesn't care, and I say that in a good way in the sense that Fitzgerald, he's not worried about what anyone thinks. He's not worried about what the coaches think. He's not worried about anything. He's going to fucking throw the ball to fucking Mike Evans, and if he catches it, he catches it. If he doesn't, he'll do it again next time. And if it gets intercepted, it gets intercepted. But you can cover point spreads playing carefree to the win like that. And I tell you, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season is over, but they got a win last week. So, they stopped the bleeding a little bit. They just feel a little bit better about themselves. Life's a little better in practice. And the thing is, they don't like the Atlanta Falcons. These two teams really don't like each other. This is a big rivalry stuff. 3 of the last 4 times they played, it's been really close. The Buccaneers have covered 3 of the last 4 times that they played. And if you want to get into some real numbers here, teams, Dirk Cutter, 6-0 in games coming off a win. There's all kinds of different little, subtitles to this game from an ATS standpoint. But I think we have a higher scoring back and forth football game, Donnie, in which double digits, I like the double-digit points. Maybe I'm going to be wrong and the Bucs get fucking flattened and lose 47-0, but I don't think so. Give me the Bucs plus the 10.
Yeah, no, I agree with you here, Gabe. And I'll make a case for you also with Tampa Bay. When you look at it, yes, their season is over. Fitzpatrick's not looking over his shoulder today. Jamie's ready. He's not going to play in this football game. Say what you want about teams that are down in the doldrums, not playing good. They like to turn the page, turn the script. You beat the Jets. Jets aren't a great team. You beat them 15-10.
They won 2 in a row now, too. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Miami Dolphins last week, 30-20. Get that good feeling in there. And we're talking about a 10-point line game in interdivision matchup. I mean, I'm taking out the Patriot game because that's just a little bit different equation. But now you're looking at Atlanta is heading down the stretch. You're saying they're in playoff mode. If the season ends today, they're going to be in the playoffs. Gabe, what's their main objective in this football game? It's just a win. 14 points, 21, 28. It doesn't matter. A 1-point win in the NFL is all you need. And if you take a look at Atlanta's last 3 opponents, we're all public. We like to watch them. I had the Atlanta Falcons on Monday night. They beat the Seattle Seahawks. I had them versus Dallas. They beat Dallas outright easy, 27-7. But Gabe, look at the last 3 football games. You want to talk about a team and an NFL team that has to get up every week at Carolina, monster game, season on the line. They end up losing 20-7. Now they rally the troops. Guys, we have to beat Dallas. Dallas is wounded. They play very well at home and win. Now you go on Seattle in another huge environment, basically a playoff game for you as well. You must win. You come out with that victory, and it was Monday night, so it's a short week. Now you come home and you say, oh, man, Tampa Bay is not nearly the team these last 3 teams were coming in with the hype coming in. Let's go out there. Let's just win this football game. Let's put it away. I agree here taking the points. Do I love the football game? No. But I think the case is better for Tampa Bay getting 10 points and hanging around this football game, Gabe.
Looking at the Atlanta Falcons, they've won, with the exception of that Dallas game that shit fell apart there. So it was 27-7. With the exception of that game, they haven't won any game by more than 5 points. They haven't won any game by more than 5 points. They won the opener by 4 against the Lions. They lost to the Bills. They lost to the Dolphins. They lost to the Patriots. They beat the Jets by 5. They lost to the Panthers. They beat the Cowboys by 20, which everyone does now. So they've won 1 game by more than 5 points in 10 games this year, Donnie. Now I got to lay 10. Give me the 10 points with the Bucs.
Exactly. And it all comes down to, Gabe, in the NFL, there are flat spots in the NFL, people. I know it's, the Bucs are coming to town. If this was maybe another red hot team, let's just say the Saints were coming to town, there's no let up. Atlanta's like, we're ready for this football game. But you just went through a gauntlet, a playoff gauntlet, and now you can take your foot off the gas. Not to say you're not ready for the football game and not going to be excited and the crowd's going to be excited, but it's a different mindset now saying, all right, folks, we're now back in the driver's seat. Let's just drive this race car here. Let's get the win. Let's get out of here today. They're not worried about winning by 14 points. I think Tampa Bay is going to hang around. Do I think Tampa wins the football game? No, I think Atlanta is absolutely the better football team, but there are weapons on that team that can give them fits for Atlanta. We saw it last week, Gabe. Again, Russell Wilson's a great quarterback. I get that. But there's not a ton of weapons on Seattle, and they got whatever they needed whenever they needed it versus that Atlanta defense.
Yeah, you know what? And the Atlanta Falcons have had a really hard time stopping a run recently. As you stated, if you look at the numbers, they match up very well. The Buccaneers are 4-1 to the over on the road this year, guys. That's one thing that we should bring up. Devontae Freeman will not be playing in this football game, so that's one less weapon that they have. And you want to lay 10 points with Steve Sarkisian right now? All right, good luck with that. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm taking the Buccaneers plus the points in that football game. All right, Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. Point spread's rising right now. I see some 6 popping up right now, 5.5s, couple of 5s, depending on where you're betting it right now. One thing, interesting number of the Carolina Panthers. Panthers have been a really good road team this year, Donnie. This is where they've made their money and thrived. They're 4-1 straight up on the road. They're 4-1 against the spread on the road. And in all 5 games on the road, they've held their opposition to a season-low yard outage. Like every game on the road, they've just gone on the road and fucking suffocated and sucked the life out of other teams. Ron Rivera is a good road coach. They're a good road team, Carolina. That's sort of, the style they play. Physical, run the ball, Cam Newton run around a bit, throw a couple of fucking bullets. Carolina's 7-3 right now. And conversely, I just want to say quickly about Tampa Bay. Donnie, I know Tampa Bay aren't going to be making the playoffs, but at 4-6, man, you're strapping up in the room saying, hey, why not? We can still go 10-6. Hey, look around. We can still go 9-7. We can, this shit ain't over. So we're at that time of the year now. I don't think the Bucs have waved the flag, actually. And we come into this game. There's a lot of nice pedigree here with the Carolina Panthers, 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the spread, 4-1 on the road this year, guys. 4-1 against the spread on the road. They're holding teams to just 15.4 points per game on the road. But with that being stated, man, the Jets are a scrappy fucking team. I saw them play live this year, Donnie. They're a scrappy team, and they're 6-3-1 against the spread, and they're a pretty good home team, the New York Jets. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. You would expect it because you're getting a lot of public action today coming in, a lot of heavy public action. Because again, when you have the have and the have-nots, most people are just going to see better football team. I'll lay it. Oh, it's under a touchdown. I'll be easy. I'll get right in after that. But if we look at the Jets at home, Gabe, especially in their last 3 football games at home, playing good competition, should have beat New England. Got a couple bad calls in that football game. You probably should have beat Atlanta as well, 25-20 loss. But the MO of those games, Gabe, both of those games, hard-fought games. And you're right. You saw them on the Thursday night football game. It completely blow out Buffalo 34-21. Game seemed like it was actually farther apart than the 34-21. You had that close loss there to Tampa Bay. But what's the MO of this football team, Gabe? They're playing under their head coach. 7-point loss, 3-point loss, 5-point loss, 13-point win, 5-point loss. That's the MO here. Carolina Panthers, now you're going to get Greg Olsen back. He's not going to be, I'm going to jump around and be an animal today. He's going to get about 30, 35 plays, going to be in for roughly probably half of the snaps in passing situations. I'm waiting, good Cam Newton, bad Cam Newton. The one thing I always like, Gabe, in the NFL is defense travels, and a really good front seven that's going to harass a quarterback really travels well, and that's what the Carolina Panthers have. Do I love the football game? I think Carolina's going to win this game, but I think the Jets, the MO of the New York Jets, Gabe, is they're going to play you tough. They're not going to roll over. They're not going to give up. They're going to play you tough, especially at home. I'll lean on the 6 points in this game, as ugly as it looks, and I think Carolina's the better team. I look at what my eyes are telling me there, and the statistics don't lie. The Jets are going to roll their helmets out there and say, let's play some football today.
I'm looking at this game as well. Now that it's approaching, it's a degenerate gambler in me, Donnie, coming out. I'm like, I'm looking at this. Betting on a hunch doesn't, that's going to get you killed. Betting on a feeling, I got a feeling. But I'm going to say this right now. I could see a 2017 game. I could see the Carolina Panthers getting out of there with a 3-point win and Cam Newton running off the field all happy with a field goal win. You can't lay 5.5, 6 in this spot with Carolina, I don't think, Donnie. To me, it's Jets or pass, actually. I lean with the Jets and the home team.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get too sharp and say, because again, you're heading down where Carolina's in that win now mode. I think Carolina obviously is the better football team. They're a little bit banged up. They're still trying to work out their skill positions at this point, Gabe. It's not a monster offense that they're rolling out there. I know they hung it on Miami, but if you look before that, 20 points versus Atlanta, 17 versus Tampa Bay, 3 points versus Chicago. They're still trying to iron out those kinks, and I think the Jets are going to come to play today. You're right. I can see a closer game. Would it surprise me if, Carolina from jump is just a physically dominating team and they get up, 7-3, 14-3, 14-6, 21-6, one of those games? I can certainly see that happening. But just from the Jets having the Jets are at home, if this game was in Carolina, I'm thinking a little bit differently along those lines. The Jets have played very well and played tough at home against good competition. There's no reason to believe they won't play tough again. And you're right, Gabe. They're 4-6. They're still getting that around that locker room material saying, hey, guys, man, we go out and win this week. Let's take it one game at a time. Who knows where we'll end up? So the season is not over yet.
The Buffalo Bills are 5-5, and we're the 6th seed right now. We're in the playoffs right now. We're 5-5.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah, this shit's wide open. This shit's wide open right now. I'm liking that 6, guys. I am. Small play for me suddenly on Gang Green here. I've been there. I was there a couple of weeks ago. It's a funky stadium, man, in the middle of nowhere there. It's going to be one of those weird, and you and I talked about this with Carolina. Every time we think they're back, they're not. You know what I'm saying, Donnie? Well, like if you give, no, they're back for real now. They're 7-3. This is fucking real. Look at Cam Newton. Oh, no, look at the last few games. Every time you say that, that's when Cam Newton goes out there and lays an egg, man.
Yeah, it's what Gabe, isn't it the thing we ask every week? Is it
few years?
Is it good Cam or is it bad Cam? Like when Cam is engaged and ready to go and I want to run the football today, they're a really good football team. But then there's Cam of the Chicago Bears game that we're having a nice drive to start the game. Oh, no, fumble for 6 going back the other way. You know what? I don't even feel like playing anymore in this football game. That's always the moniker.
All right. Next. All right. So next game. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. This actually, I like this game. I like the Tennessee Titans in this game, guys. And I have the Titans in the Super Contest. I played the 3 Thanksgiving Day games in the Super Contest, and I have the Bills and the Titans. So, coming into today. So the Titans are coming off. The number's been bouncing around from 3. It went up to 3.5. It came back down to 3. But if you're laying to 3, man, you got to lay like minus 130 and shit like that. It's heavily shaded to the 3s right now. So Tennessee played on Thursday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, and Marcus Mariota had the worst game as a professional. He threw 4 interceptions, and people have sort of given up on the Titans right now, but the Titans are a 6-4 football team that are right in the mix of this fucking playoff picture and a division title chase. Yeah, they stumbled against the Steelers. Big shocker, that they're not, you know what I mean? They're a bunch of young guys, and malarkey going on the road on a Thursday nighter. To me, you get an Indianapolis Colt team here that hasn't quit. I'll give them that. And I like Jacoby Brissett. He's a gamer, this kid. They haven't quit up again, but they're just shit. They don't have any fucking talent. And I think Tennessee's physicality with the offensive line, a pissed-off Tennessee team, and Mariota. I think Mariota's going to have a nice fantasy day today, guys, in DraftKings. No one's going to want to own him. I think Derrick Henry's going to have a big day, not Murray. I think Derrick Henry's going to pop a fucking big one. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to use that exotic smash mouth offense that they call it, and they're going to run the fucking ball down the Titans' fucking throat in a must-win game for them. They get the win on the road. Titans win this game. And I like the long field goal prop in this game, too. It's indoors. Suckup's a great kicker. Vinatieri's a stud. And I forgot, I also like the long field goal prop in the Tampa-Atlanta game. We'll give you that in the best bets of the day. But to me, I like Tennessee. All the angles, to me, point to Tennessee in this game. They need the game. They're coming off an extended bye. And just stylistically, matchup-wise, I don't think the Colts match up well with that tough offensive line that they have and a smash-mouth 1-2 combo of Murray and Henry. I like
it's funny, Gabe, when I feel you on that. I absolutely do. I'm not going to be anywhere around this game, but if I'm going to look at an opposite side or a trigger, when we all think of the Colts, Gabe, we all think of Colts as just suck. They just suck. That's what comes into your head. Like, how can you bet the Colts? Why is the Colts only 3? You think about Tennessee. They have the weapons. They have a little bit more of a pedigree out there. But when you look at the overall numbers there, take out the Jacksonville game where they lost 27-0. At Cincinnati, 24-23. At Houston, 20-14. They actually won that football game. Lost to Pittsburgh, 20-17, who thrashed the Tennessee Titans. When I look at this line, you say, how's it only 3? And why aren't we just going to jump on the Titans altogether and just take them? I can see the point of view because overall as a team, do I think on paper Tennessee's the better football team? But something's not shaking out. Even when they beat Indianapolis a couple weeks back there, Gabe, it took that, 70-yard run by Derrick Henry to make that a 36-22 game. It was much closer there as a 7-point game. Then you go on the road as Tennessee. You barely pulled an overtime victory versus the Cleveland Browns. I know Mariota was still a little bit banged up in that football game. You got the 23-20 win over Baltimore. You beat Cincinnati 24-20. Got laced by Pittsburgh. It's one of those games, Gabe, where I don't really want too much involvement here because Tennessee has to win this football game. And you also have a quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, Gabe. You didn't even know he was going to play up till yesterday. Where were his feelings? And how's he feeling going out there going, you know what? They're asking me to play for this football game. We're going nowhere. Do I, on 3rd and 3, want to lay out to get that 4-yard gain knowing I'm one more hit where I might be out for the season or I'm trying to play for a new contract and maybe start next year? That's always going to pop into your head. I want nothing to do with this football game. I think it just stinks, Gabe, to high heaven. I'll pass altogether here.
You know what? I think the pendulum has swung, Donnie. I think Tennessee's going to – Marcus Mariota, I think that was the game he came back, actually, against the Colts. So he wasn't 100% in that football game. I'm betting on Mariota. I think Marcus Mariota is a good quarterback. Is he a perfect quarterback? No. He's a symbol of the young quarterbacks in the league, the modern quarterback. But I think he's a good quarterback. I think that he feels he let his team down in the last game. And he's had 10 days to get back into form here. And let's be real here. I mean, the Titans put up 473 fucking yards on these guys last time, Donnie. The Indianapolis Colts give up the most points in the National Football League, guys. They give up over 28 points a football game. They've got problems, the Colts. And, they haven't quit. I'll give them credit for that. But I think Tennessee are really going to be too physical for them. And I think Indy about halfway through is going to say, this fucking sucks. Fuck. We're tired of Taylor Lewan fucking punching me in the mouth here. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to be in a foul mood. They're going to run the ball down the Colts' throat. The Colts beat the Titans 11 straight fucking times, too. Titans beat them 36-22 earlier this season. I think that trend continues. Donnie's going to pass on the game, but I got a strong opinion. I think Tennessee win this game rather easily. I think the Titans go in there and beat them up. I'm not saying it's a rout, but I think they're going to physically control the Indianapolis Colts in this football game. I do. I really believe that. And I will say this, though, Donnie, too, about the Titans, that, just as I feel the Houston Texans need to fire Bill O'Brien, it's a perfect thing. And don't give them the excuse, well, everyone's injured. I get it. But no, now's the time you move forward. You can bring a new coach in with Deshaun Watson, and you start fresh. Malarkey's a nice guy, but you've got so much fucking talent on the Tennessee Titans, man. Malarkey's not the guy to take this shit to the next level, Donnie. It's just a fact, He's a mediocre to less than average fucking coach. You got a ton of talent. The Titans should be better than they are. And we should know Rashard Matthews is out. He's inactive, and he's their best wide receiver, but they're fucking loaded with players anyways, and I think they're just going to run the ball. Yeah. So
you're right.
They had 36 minutes.
No, you're right about it.
They controlled the ball, Donnie, 36 minutes in that first game that they played. I think that's what we're going to see again.
No, you should be able to beat the Colts. I mean, the Colts' MO of the years is they're soft on defense, and you have the perfect tonic for a soft defense. When you run read option, you want to pound the football with 2 good running backs. You saw it in the first game. That's exactly the game plan you should take. And you're right. Me coming into the season, I was really high on the Titans. You get that break with Houston where, they lose their quarterback there. You figure that you should be able to put Jacksonville away, but they just seem to be always in that holding pattern, waiting to take that next step. They're a talented football team. You're right. Looking at the game itself, Gabe, they're the better football team if they just play accordingly. But we know how coaches do. Like, hey, ground it out. You're up 3-0. It's a 7-3 game. Keep running the football against this Indianapolis team. You should win.
Sorry, Don, I'm going to cut you out. But Ace Charner's saying in the chat there that I bet the Colts last time in this game, and that's why I'm scared. No, I didn't. Don't put picks in my fucking in my portfolio that weren't there.
What did you lose on that one, Gabe? Did you lose the under in that football game? What did you lose? Because you lost something on that run that somebody went out of bounds. Was it a teaser or something?
Which game what? And which one?
You were losing your mind. This was the game that Derrick Henry went for like an 80-yard touchdown where nobody reviewed it when he stepped out of bounds because nobody cared the game was over. It was the Indianapolis game. You were losing your mind over that, and people were sending you screenshots of his foot out. Yeah, you lost something on that.
It was the teaser. It was the teaser. Fuck, I had him at plus 13 or something, and it went by 4. You're right. Yep. My bad, Ace Farmer. Yeah, it was a teaser. Ace Farmer's got a better memory than I do, evidently, about my.
Man, your fans out there remember. They're not going to let you forget that game. You were heartbroken in that game. They remember it.
It's pretty scary. Yeah, you know why I didn't remember? Because I don't remember making a case for the Colts beating the Titans. I had it on a teaser. No, you know what? I don't think it wasn't. It wasn't. What was it? Fucking.
I thought it was a total. I thought you teased the under and lost it on that player, or an in-game, maybe an in-game action. It was something on the over. I thought.
Yeah. It was a weird prop or something, Ace. I remember now. You're right. I remember I was flipping out and I nearly but. Yeah. Anyways, Ace Farmer's a good guy. Though. I got no problems. Sorry, Ace. I just saw. I was like, "What are you talking about?" I bet the Colts, but yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did. All right, you're right, Ace. Yeah, but it's kind of vague, Donnie. I remember the night I freaked out about something.
Yeah, exactly. What night was that, Gabe? Every night?
Yeah, I remember the night Gabe got mad about the game. Yeah, it's like the episode of Three's Company where there was a misunderstanding.
Exactly.
All right, so I like the Titans. Donnie's staying away from this game. I don't really have an opinion on the total. I don't really want to fuck with the total in this game. I do like the long field goal prop in this game as well, though. So we went through the 1 o'clock games. We got some 4 o'clock games, and we got the Grey Cup today as well. I want to bang up, but since we got to get our bets in, including me, I'll start clicking away. I got a few bets in, but let me get a few more in right now. Let's send it to you, Donnie. Donnie, right side. What do you like this morning that you'll put your name on? What are you betting on?
Yeah, we'll go to it. We have had some real good success here, Gabe, both me and you on the closing line here. So I'm going to go with 2 1 o'clock games. As you know, folks, we come on at halftime, have another one that I'll give out at the half for the 4 o'clock games. We'll go over those as well. But I'm going to lean on, the Philadelphia Eagles. I've been very good with them lately, winning some money. 253, 254, Chicago and Philadelphia. On paper, I mean, again, Gabe knows me. I don't like to lay this amount of points, but when I just match it up here, what the Philadelphia Eagles are able to do at home, and just overall from a offensive perspective from the Chicago Bears, I don't see them being able to run up and down the field on the Eagles. So that's going to lend to an Eagles cover here, somewhere in that 31-13 range. So I'll take the points right here. It looks like 14 is across the board, but it's pretty much plus 100. So that prevailing line is actually 13.5, roughly at the same juice, minus 110. So I'll go under 2 touchdowns at 13.5. The second game, Gabe, we talked about also 259, 260. Tampa Bay and Atlanta here, making the case for Tampa Bay not to actually win the football game, but I think they're going to be right around in this football game. How many times, folks, has a banged up Julio Jones, exited the game, or maybe it's late in the game, they're going to take it off. All Atlanta has to do is win this football game. I like Tampa Bay to keep it close. Give me the 10 points in that game. Those are the 2 I'll go with the closing line for the 1 o'clock games here, Gabe. How about you?
We're on the same page with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And normally I give a million picks early, but I'm not going to today. I'm on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the reasons that Donnie just broke down, and the reasons we spent a shitload of time talking about the game as well earlier. Falcons have only won 1 game all year, guys, by more than 5 points. Division rivals, Tampa Bay Buccaneers have covered 3 of the last 4 times that they played. Buccaneers on a 2-game win streak right now, feeling better about themselves. Ryan Fitzpatrick's in there. He's more carefree than Winston, and he can actually just throw the ball down the field. They fucking hate each other. Bucs are coming to play today. It's going to be a dogfight. I think it wouldn't shock me if the Bucs won the game outright. Buffalo Bills circle the wagons. They're going to play for Tyrod Taylor. And it's also more just sort of a play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Donnie brought it up. Andy Reid. We're not talking about Mike Gundy here in Oklahoma State. Right? They're not putting up 56. They're not putting up 62. They're going to hand the football off. They're going to do a lot of dink and dunks. It's not going to take much. If Buffalo can give us fucking 14 to 17 points, we cover this number. All right. And I think the Buffalo Bill defense actually shows up after being humiliated over the last couple of weeks. So those are the those 2 and the Tennessee Titans. Those are my 3 game bets that I'm betting this morning that I bet earlier already. I bet the Buffalo Bills. It was 9.5 this morning. I bet it up to 10. I got the Bucs at an even 10 already. I laid the 3 points with the Tennessee Titans. And as we were just speaking, I'm going to tail Donnie's Philadelphia Eagles. And I couldn't resist, Donnie. I just put in a play on the New York Jets at +6.
Hey, look, you're speaking to the choir in that Jets game. They're going to fight. You got the 6 in that game. I did see a peak up, even Sportsbook peaking at a 6.5, but Bet Online 5.5. So I think 6 is a nice price in that football game. Look for a close battle in that one, Gabe. I completely agree with you there.
And as far as props are concerned, let's go long field goal over 44.5 yards in Kansas City and Buffalo. Hoshka's a fucking stud. That Buckner kid's pretty good on Kansas City as well. The Bills do kick long field goals pretty much on a weekly basis. Let's go Hoshka over 44.5. Let's go long field goal over with Suck Up and Vinatieri in the Dome. Titans and Colts, excuse me. And long field goal, it's 46.5 in the Tampa game, but Matt Bryant's actually pretty good for an old man. Fuck. These guys, they boot long field goals often. I don't love that one as much, but I think it gets there. I just don't like the 46.5, but I like those long field goal props in the Bills game a lot, and I like it in the Tennessee-Indy game a lot. Let's throw out that Buccaneer one. Fuck that one. Let's go long field goal in the Bills game, and then long field goal in the indoor game with the Titans and the Colts as well. All right, it's the Grey Cup today, guys. Canadian Football League Championship. Don't mock the CFL. CFL is a great league, and in fact, it's been more entertaining than the piece of shit NFL has this year. Kickoff is at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Donnie and Big Man will be on later. We're going to meet Donnie be on at the half again, but they'll be breaking down the shitty-ass Sunday Nighter. But when we come on at 8:25, the original betcast will sort of be, we'll be watching the Grey Cup because it's going to be much more entertaining. It's always a fun game, the Grey Cup. For the record, I like the Toronto Argonauts plus the 7. Mark Trestman, former Chicago Bear head coach, is the coach of the Argonauts. He's been in 3 Grey Cup games before. He's won 2 of them. The Toronto Argonauts getting 7 points. James Wilder, good running back. James Wilder Sr. was a longtime Tampa Bay Buccaneer player in the 80s. His son is a good back right now in the Argos. I think they're going to be able to run the ball, keep the game close a little bit. I like the Argos plus the 7. I like the over 53.5, but I think Calgary is going to win. Remember last year, Calgary lost in overtime. They were laying 9 points. It was a close game. It went over, but they lost in overtime. They're not going to choke the Grey Cup away every year, guys. I think Calgary wins, but it's going to be a close one, and I got a nice teaser for you. Tease the Seattle Seahawks. So the Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites. Tease the Seahawks down to a pick'em, and then a 7-point teaser will take the Toronto Argonauts plus 14. So all the Seahawks have to do is win, and then we slide right into the Grey Cup with the Argos plus 14 in our back pocket. I'm telling you, Donnie, put a little McDonald's Happy Meal on this one. Take the Toronto Argonauts plus 7 tonight. The game is on ESPN2 for all of you in the United States that want to check it out. It's on ESPN2, so it's not like you can't watch it.
No, I like it. I like it a lot, Gabe, the way it sounds there. So, yeah, I'll be tuned into that football game. I know you and the Big Man will be covering that up there. But, hey, money is money, and I like it. You're using my moniker now, man. Put a little McDonald's money on that, Gabe. Even though you're probably not eating McDonald's at this point, we could still do it, though.
No, I moved on, Donnie. Yeah, I went from total junk to total health, buddy.
Look at that. Picks are going to be flying out left. Look, you're speaking clear mind right now. You see the game's clear now. Yeah.
And I'm still getting a cold anyways. Fucking life, huh?
Doesn't seem to help ever. Yep, I hear
what do you think about the 4 o'clock? What do you think? Quickly right now, we'll break down the Rams game at halftime with Donnie. But, the Lattimore injury to me is pretty big, but Robert Woods is out as well. I'm leaning with the Rams, though, here. A Rams team that needs to get back on track and stop the bleeding on their home field.
No, Gabe, yeah, real quick on that Rams game. I mean, it's one thing to look at. We always talk about who New Orleans is playing. Once they get with a quarterback that can throw, Jared Goff can throw, it does present some problems. Let's not forget, Gabe, we talked about it earlier before the show. Okafor is going to be out, your second leading pass rush artist, sack leader. What do you have, 4.5, 5.5 sacks on the season? And you're without your top 2 cornerbacks, and Lattimore has been playing like not just your average cornerback, an elite quarterback in the NFL. So now you're down a pass rusher and 2 guys who would be able to stand up there and sort of fight off that Sean McVay offense here. I would lean the Rams at this point as well, Gabe.
All right. That Raider game, Paxton Lynch is starting down to 3.5 right now. I can't make an argument for either team. And how about Jacksonville and Arizona? Remember, Donnie, I told you last week, every fucking team that's played the Houston Texans has lost the following week. Rams lost last week. That means the Arizona Cardinals lose this week. But do you want to lay 6 with Bortles on the road here?
No, I don't want anything to do with Bortles on the road. They got 2 starting offensive linemen that are going to be out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know it's a very public play there, Jacksonville. They're even getting some steam up. Yesterday was down to like 4.5. Now it looks like it's going to be that prevailing line of 6. We'll see if anybody takes a chunk there, but don't get back. I know you hear Blaine Gabbert and you want to run away. Watch the tape from last week. The kid is athletic, mobile, and he delivered last week, finally playing with a head coach that has his best interest in mind. If you want to leave out that always funny moniker that the head coach said, Bruce Arians said, hey, Blaine Gabbert's going to be shit because he played with shit football teams. So we'll see if he can pull one out, maybe keep that one close today.
And my hand, Donnie, I can't help it. Fuck. As you were just talking, I'm like, I'll just click that and just click this. And just a little bit of that. All right, guys, I just put another bet in. I took over 47 in Tampa and Atlanta. Couldn't resist. There's going to be points in that game.
Yeah, no, come on, man. Tampa Bay's defense at the
Yep. Okay, Donnie, it's always a pleasure working with you, my man. Great stuff. The hour flew by. Me and Donnie Rightside will be right back here on SBR at the half. So the first game goes to halftime. Me and Donnie are on, and we stay on, and we talk until the last game goes off the board, and then we break down the 4 o'clock games. So, hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. May the winners be yours. Let's beat the book. Give a thumbs up. If you're betting, go over to SBR and bet on one of the books over there. We'll see you at the half, guys. May the winners be yours.
See you, folks.